About 4 weeks ago, I started working on a batch of chicken and dumplings for the freeze dryer. But most of my time has been spent working on house projects, so it's been slow. I wanted to give a preview of the upcoming video for the chicken and dumplings. Going to make a batch of chicken and dumplings. We've never made chicken and dumplings. We've made a chicken pot pie and then used different kinds of toppings for it, including a puff pastry top and a pie crust top. Well, this is chicken and dumplings. I'm going to make the dumpling portion of it separate. I want to bag them separate anyway within the main bag so that I can rehydrate them separately so that the texture is the way I want it to be. I have this whole box of Mountain House freeze-dried stuff that I bought over 2 years ago with the idea of making my own versions of these. Most of these I've never even tried. It's the chicken broth I made from the chickens that I were using for this recipe. So we've got a couple of bay leaves, some carrots, onions, celery, flour, butter, garlic, thyme, and then salt and pepper to taste a little bit later. We'll give this a few minutes, start to soften those up a bit. Okay, we'll let that simmer for a few minutes. We'll come back and finish it up. I have one of my pre-freezing pans on the scale right now. I'll put 1 pound in it, which usually equals about 2 cups. So I'll have a cup on each side. So that bigger kettle made 10 of these containers of pre-freeze. So they're just over 1 pound each, 2 cups each. So these will go into the freezer for pre-freezing, and then we'll get them in the freeze dryer later. So I'm doing a small batch of the dumplings as a test. So I've got 2/3 of a cup of flour, all-purpose flour. I'll add a teaspoon of baking powder. Got a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to add just over 1/4 cup of warm chicken broth to melt that. Now mix that in there. I don't know what texture that should be. Yeah, I think I want a different dumpling still, but the ones I tasted were awfully tasty. So here's a bowl for you. My next try for the dumplings, I'm looking for just the right texture for what I want with chicken and dumplings. You might want a noodle type dumpling or a filled dumpling. I'm just after kind of a biscuity kind, but I don't want it soggy. That recipe didn't work for these. They just fell apart, so those are no good. Right, test number 3 for dumplings. I'm going to try this commercial pack of buttermilk biscuits. I'm not liking the look of those. I haven't tasted them yet, but I don't even like the look of them. So we'll move on to another test. Do another trial of biscuits. So number 4. So we have the flour, salt, sugar, baking powder, and butter. Good flavor, but I'm still not happy with the texture. I want it more dense in the middle and more solid around the edge. Well, we'll keep looking. Say, I think they're done, so we'll take them out and test them. Those look like they puffed up pretty well, especially the ones that are sitting on the parchment paper. I think that would be good enough for what I want to call a dumpling. Maybe I'll make them round though. I'm gonna try cooking these. I don't have a good steamer, so I'm just going to put it on top of this and have it steaming away. Let's give that a try. Let's check. Oh, those are nice. That's a nice soft texture. I think that's what I want. So far, these have the texture that I was hoping for. Slightly squishy, nice and fluffy. Let's tear one open. Okay, that really looks like what I was hoping for the texture inside. So we'll work on this method and steam some more and try that out. Testing out a couple of the newest dumplings, the steamed ones. These seem to work out perfectly. So I put them in there, waited 10 minutes. They did not get soggy around the edges. They stayed nice and soft on the inside. So they are the texture that I'm after for what I would like for a dumpling-like item in there. And I guess they're probably not really a dumpling, but I don't care. It's the flavor I'm after and the texture I'm after. So we'll do other batches of this and then freeze dry them and then figure out how to rehydrate them in the chicken and dumpling filling. Yeah, those worked well. So we'll see how they work after they've been freeze dried and then rehydrated. So this is where I'm at so far. I 3D printed a cookie cutter, well, a biscuit cutter, a dumpling cutter. That's what I'm going to use to cut the dumpling pieces. So that's about 20 millimeters across, or about 3/4 of an inch. I'll give that a try. It'll still probably be a couple more weeks before I finish this project, maybe more because of the holidays. Thanks for continuing to follow along with the slow progress.